Good morning. It's Thursday. It's the 21st of April, and our reading is from 1 Corinthians 2:16. For who has understood the mind of the Lord so as to instruct him? But we have the mind of Christ. Now, sadly, we've all, I suspect, run into the non-believer who says, I won't believe in a God who would, and you can fill in the blank. But I think sometimes we do something similar in that we go to God and tell him, this is how you should fix things, or this is how you should solve this problem. So we just want you to rubber stamp what we want to do. And we're saying the same thing. We know what's best. We understand, and therefore God should follow our lead. But what Paul is saying here is that we have the mind of Christ. That is our desire, and as we depend on the Holy Spirit and focus on who the Lord is, our desire is to be within His will, to understand He knows what's best, that we can request certain things, very often to get out of a negative situation, or to give us what we think we'd like. There's nothing wrong with that. The disciples' prayer that Jesus taught them as a model includes requests, and we certainly pray for others, and that we should be doing. But in the final analysis, we need to say, but because we have the mind of Christ, we don't always have to understand what God is doing. We need to be willing to accept what He's doing, which, by the way, is where we can find peace even in difficult situations, because we know He is in control. And when we look at the world around us that's totally out of control, apparently at all levels, knowing God's in control, knowing that He is going to one of these days step in and cause things to be what He intended them to be, we can find comfort and hope in that, knowing that like Christ, we're here to carry out the will of the Father first and foremost, not to get Him to make our life easier. And when we walk with that reality, we're going to quit fighting against life so much. And that in and of itself will give us some peace and give us some comfort. And so we don't have to know why. We can trust in the character of God. And boy, is that going to make a difference in how we deal with life's trials on a daily basis. So I hope that's a blessing. And hopefully, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, I'll see you again tomorrow.